Your phone just vibrated, and instead of feeling connected, you feel like someone just threw a brick through your window. You're not even looking at the screen, but you can already feel the weight of the quick question waiting for you. The kind of question that isn't quick at all, but a demand for your last 3% of energy. You're under a blanket. Your phone is 6 feet away. Somehow, it still feels like somebody just kicked open the door to your brain. Because you already know what happens if you answer. The question might take 8 seconds, but answering opens the building. Now the lights are on, the front desk is staffed, apparently you have office hours. And the worst part isn't the messages, it's the reason they keep sending them to you specifically. You'll see why in a minute. Then another message arrives. Are you busy? That is not a question. That is somebody checking whether your remaining energy has already been claimed. You look at the screen. You care about the person. You do not want anything bad to happen to them. You also want your phone to fall into a very small, very respectful volcano. If your phone has ever made you hide under a blanket, subscribe. You have found your people. The exhausting part is that none of these people are necessarily doing anything wrong. One friend wants to tell you about their day. A family member needs help ordering something. A coworker remembered a detail that apparently cannot survive until tomorrow. Somebody sends you a 7-minute voice message with no summary, no warning, and the emotional density of a season finale. Publicly, you type, "Of course." Privately, every cell in your body says, "Please choose somebody else." Because you cannot say that out loud without sounding like a villain, you start the invisible dance of pretending you are not actually there. You leave the message unopened, even though you read the entire preview. You turn the phone face down as if the screen cannot see you from there. You walk into another room. Then you walk back into the room because now you need to know whether another message arrived. Perfect. Very restful. You are not ignoring anyone. You are buffering. You are not angry that people care about you. You are not trying to become a mysterious forest creature who communicates exclusively through footprints. You just want one day where nobody requires a response, a decision, reassurance, advice, directions, a password, a ride, a favor, or your opinion on which rug looks better. Just one day. Not forever, not even the whole weekend. You want 24 hours without being assigned a tiny emotional task through a glowing rectangle. But these days, if somebody can reach your phone, they think they have reached your schedule. Delivered means received. Received means seen. Seen means available. And being available means you have to reply fast before they start making up stories about why you are ignoring them. So a normal message becomes a countdown. You do not know how long the countdown is. Nobody tells you. It changes depending on the person, the request, the time, and whether you made the fatal mistake of appearing online somewhere else. You stop posting because somebody might notice you are active. You avoid reacting to a funny video because apparently laughing means you have the capacity to discuss somebody's moving plans. You hesitate before opening an app because your activity status could become evidence against you. You said you were busy. Yes, busy staring at a wall. That was the appointment. And staring at a wall was going beautifully until the investigation began. The problem is that being available rarely means doing one thing. A friend asks whether you are free this weekend. That sounds simple, but now you need to check your calendar, measure your energy, consider your unfinished errands, estimate how guilty you will feel if you say no, and calculate whether maybe sounds casual or secretly hostile. A family member asks for a small favor. Now you need the details, the deadline, the address, and an explanation for why the thing described as super easy somehow requires your email address and a printer. A coworker sends a message after hours. You could ignore it, but now part of your brain is holding the message like a lit firecracker while the rest of you attempts to watch a movie. The request takes 30 seconds. The mental tab stays open for 3 hours. You're not actually watching the movie. You're just holding a glowing rectangle hostage. People count the time it takes you to reply. You feel the time it takes to switch into reply mode. You have to stop what you are doing, understand the request, read the tone, decide what you can give, phrase the answer correctly, and prepare for the next message your answer will create. Because every answer has children. Yes, that works produces great, what time? Maybe later produces how much later? Sorry you cannot help today produces the terrifying 3-dot bubble of possible disappointment. Suddenly, you are not resting, you are managing a tiny customer service department where every customer has your personal number. And somehow, you are also the customer service department. Which brings you to the reason everybody keeps choosing you. You are the reliable one, the responsive one, the person who figures things out, the person who remembers, the person who answers, the person who can probably handle one more thing. That reputation sounds flattering until you realize it has become a subscription service you never agreed to provide. Unlimited access, no closing time, emotional support available whenever the little green dot appears. The more reliably you answer, the more normal your availability becomes. The more normal it becomes, the more noticeable your absence feels. You reply quickly for months, and then one afternoon you take 2 hours for yourself. Suddenly, everything okay? Yes, everything was okay until your silence required an investigation. That is the reliable person trap. You do such a good job of being there that nobody can see what being there costs you. They see the answer. They do not see you rewriting it 3 times so it sounds warm enough. They see the favor completed. They do not see the other thing you postponed to complete it. They see you saying, "No problem." They believe you. Meanwhile, the problem is sitting in your chest wearing a tiny name tag. Here's the contradiction. You want connection. You just don't want connection to arrive disguised as another obligation. You want somebody to send you something that requires nothing. No analysis, no decision, no immediate reassurance, no hidden timer. Just a small sign that says, you can exist near this friendship without clocking in. That's why a harmless message can feel so heavy on the wrong day. The message is not the whole weight. It lands on top of work, errands, bills, laundry, appointments, family expectations, and the 15 other things your brain is already trying not to drop. The phone buzzes once. Your brain hears, new assignment. Then the guilt arrives, because the other side is real too. Somebody may be reaching out because they miss you. Somebody may trust you. Somebody may be having a difficult day. You know how painful silence can feel when you are the person waiting for an answer. You do not want people to stop caring. You do not want your friends to assume they're a burden. You do not want temporary exhaustion to become permanent distance. You just want people to understand that access to your phone is not access to your full emotional capacity. Those are different things. You can love somebody and still not be ready for their voice message. You can care about a problem and still not be the person who solves it tonight. You can see a message and decide that tomorrow's version of you should answer it. Tomorrow's version of you may complain about this arrangement, but tomorrow's version of you has not arrived yet. That sounds like a tomorrow problem. The cruel little trap is that you often keep answering because you do care. You send the thoughtful response. You make the call. You agree to the favor. You add the plan to your calendar. Then resentment starts leaking into things that didn't deserve it. A normal question feels invasive. A friendly check-in feels like pressure. A ringing phone feels like a personal accusation. Not because the people are terrible, but because you kept handing out energy after your supply reached zero. You said yes with your thumbs while the rest of you was screaming no. That does not make you generous forever. It makes you exhausted immediately. Sometimes the kindest answer is not the fastest answer. Sometimes the honest version is that you saw the message, you care, and you don't have the energy to respond properly yet. That may disappoint somebody for a moment, but a delayed, honest answer is better than an immediate answer soaked in resentment. You are allowed to have closed hours. You are allowed to be unreachable without producing a courtroom-quality explanation. You do not need to prove that you are sick, working, traveling, sleeping, or trapped beneath heavy furniture. Not today is information. It is not a betrayal. Needing silence does not mean you want everybody to disappear. It means you want one small stretch of time when your attention belongs to you. No incoming assignments, no emotional pop quizzes, no quick calls that begin with 40 seconds of technical difficulties and end with a new responsibility. Just quiet. So, you put the phone down. You flip the imaginary customer service sign from open to closed. You pull the blanket up. The messages can remain messages for a little while. They do not automatically become emergencies because they arrived with a sound effect. You can care tomorrow. You can answer tomorrow. You can be a good friend, relative, coworker, or partner tomorrow. Today, you may simply need to be a person nobody can reach for an hour. Not today does not mean not ever. Sometimes it's the reason you still have something kind left to give later. Which message drains your energy fastest? Quick question? Are you busy? Or can you do me a favor? Let it out in the comments.